and welcome into To Your Health. As we get into the year 2022, you may see a graphic coming up because we're going to wish you a new you in 22. 3 phases: nutrition, exercise, and health. You probably have made a New Year's resolution. Now's the time, because we're just a little bit into January. Have you already broken it? And if you said, I'm going to become more healthy, we're going to try to give you some hints over the next 8 weeks to keep you healthy. My guest, Carl Schmidt, and you are the proprietor of the Herb Shop in Montgomery, which came from Texas, didn't you?
Well, back and forth.
Back and forth.
Yes.
Okay.
Austin, Texas, yes.
And your background, let our viewers know.
Well, I'm a board-certified naturopath, and what that means is I've been trained and schooled in how to understand how the body operates and what nutrition can accomplish, and what lack of nutrition or stressors on the body, what conditions develop. And so I understand the beginning and ending of many health issues, and where interference is aiding the problem or where intervention with nutrition and hydration and so forth enables the body to correct itself.
And you have talked about the fact that many times one of our viewers might say, I don't feel good. And sometimes you get this thing called a prescription or prescription drug that kind of masks the cause. And obviously, as we talked, when you look at an ad in a magazine, here's the prescription, and then there's 2 full pages, small print about the side effects. So a lot of these things they may treat that immediately, but they're not that good for you.
Right.
And cause other problems.
Yes. So many medicines are defined for a symptom, but they're going to have obviously many side effects. And in nature, there's no single nutrient that exists in isolation. You can't even hardly find a piece of gold, for example, that's only gold. It's going to have other minerals. That's why they have to purify it. So our body operates on everything all the time. It's a complex sequence of events. And it's often when we're running really on empty that certain symptoms, whether it's a headache or whether it's high blood pressure or whether it's whatever, it can be because we're missing a variety of nutrients. And so we try to help the public understand that diversity of supplementation is often necessary, and we're not going to have a single pill for an ill when it comes to nutrition and supplementation.
Right. And everybody is different, aren't they? In other words, I'm a full-blooded Italian. When you go to 23andMe, it says you've got some of this, some of this, some of this in your background. So heredity has got a lot to do with us too, doesn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
And we do genetics at the Herb Shop. We do a type of genetics. So everything from, say, B vitamins. B vitamins, for example, B12. There's several kinds of B12. So in an inexpensive supplement that you might pick up at a drugstore or grocery store would have cyanocobalamin. But a better form of B12 would be methylcobalamin or hydroxycobalamin or adenosine cobalamin. It's still like cobalamin, but it's the more active, bioactive form.
And what does a cobalamin really mean?
It's the 12. Yeah, it's the B12.
Okay, it's the 12. So it's just that it's going to have, in other words, there can be actually empty vitamins out there.
Yes, or inactive, or if they're synthetic. So some manufacturers on the lower price range are more concerned about their shelf life than the life they're helping support.
Right.
So we're interested in the individual, and so we want the best, most targeted supplement for their needs.
So if our viewers are watching the show today and they say, okay, you've kind of convinced me, what's the number one thing they should do to kind of change their life from a health perspective?
Well, being more aware. I just read an article, for example, we've all kind of have a general idea of what junk food and maybe, and the headline was, a hot dog takes 36 minutes of your life away. And so there's junk food shortens our life, and it shortens the quality of our life. So making better choices and not satisfying indulgences, and being more pragmatic about the quality of our food and understanding the pros and cons of different ingredients.
Is it the preservatives that they're putting in it, or is it just the ingredients per se?
Well, it goes back to even the 1940s and the Dust Bowl in America and agricultural practices and the low mineral content in our food source. Then you add, 50 years of basically industrial type agricultural applications where they grow things with almost no nutrition in the soil with fertilizers and weed killers. And so even the better foods, even if you're not eating cooks and cakes and pies and junk food, it's still void of a lot of nutrition. But it's the junk in junk food, the artificial colors, the preservatives, actually plastic type byproducts, polyethylene glycol, propylene glycol. These are things that give texture to like gravies or salad dressings. They're all contra-nutritional. So not only are they void of nutrition, they actually weaken our health.
And do they make the provider put that in the ingredients or not?
No. Many things are labeled as an item on the label could be disguised. So big food industries have been able to kind of with their lawyers been able to write the labels the way they wanted to have it written. So they could actually say natural ingredients or natural flavoring, and it could be MSG, monosodium glutamate, or it could be an artificial ingredient that had no natural component whatsoever. So the labeling is very tricky, and so it's simple. If you buy an apple, you know you got an apple. But when you buy an apple pie, you're not sure.
You don't know what all went into making that pie the pie. That's amazing. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to have you come back for the next few weeks. But we just wanted to let people know. So the key takeaway from today is, I think, two things. First of all, as much as you can stay away from a prescription drug, try to stay away. I mean, obviously, I'm not saying don't listen to your doctor, but look at the side effects on different drugs because each one of us is different. And the next thing would be look at the food that you're putting in your body and really examine it and find out what's in it. Okay?
Yes.
So we're going to get you to come back next week and we're going to move on. Okay? And remember this, it's your health. We want to be a new you in 22. And we'll be right back right after this.